Chris Webber, NBA on TNT analyst. He was on the call for the Bucks and the Nets last night on TNT. Next game, Lakers-Bucks Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern, also on TNT. Oh, look at you, Mr. Milwaukee Buck with your Milwaukee Bucks T-shirt on. Did you pay for that?
No, I got so many. I can wear all the teams. I guess I was. I used to say I wasn't superstitious, but I would never wear other teams. Now I take all the swag they give me. I work out in it. So
were the Pistons your favorite team growing up?
Yeah, by far. It was the Pistons, and then it was the Pistons and the Lakers. Magic being from Michigan, and then I hated Chicago and the Celtics so much, but I really loved it secretly. So it was the tangle web back then.
Well, why did you hate Boston?
Well, remember, back then you had to go through certain teams. So back then the Pistons had to go through Boston. So, I grew up hating Dick Stockton because every time his voice came on, it reminded me of the Celtics games. You think the commentators have something to do with the game. And so remember Isaiah turning it over? That's a crazy story. Well, we got whoopings that night because we went crazy running through the house when Isaiah turned it over. And then we beat the Celtics, got through them. That's when you see Kevin McHale giving Isaiah the pound, telling him, you better go win it, you better go win it. Isaiah hurts himself and gets 44 in the finals. We lose to the Lakers. Good job, Magic. And then we beat them the next two. So I hated the Celtics because we had to go through them. And, of course, just the Bulls just because.
Okay, but what was that like when you're watching Isaiah throw the ball in? Just get the ball in, and you're going to beat the Celtics. And Larry Bird, slowest guy on the floor, comes out of nowhere and steals the ball, hits DJ for the layup.
It was crazy. When I played the Celtics the first time, I remember having Spree and those guys pick me up. And seriously, I know Kyrie takes the sage and does that around, but I really thought it had to be like a leprechaun on top of those rims. I really thought back then it was something with the parquet floor, that it was magic. And so I just felt like, wow, come on, out of all, the times that this could happen. So that was one of the worst moments for me as a basketball fan.
Were you a Lions fan too growing up?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember going to a friend's wedding and all these Lions, were there. And so, yeah, it was I was a big Lions fan, still am, Billy Sims and, other players that we've had during that time, even though we're most famously known for being the only team where two Hall of Famers, generational talents retired early rather than before they left.
Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, they decided, you know what, I'd rather not play. Instead of playing with the Lions, I'd rather not play at all.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll be quick, but I'm a Lions fan still to this day. But in '99, I think it was the year Cleveland got their team back.
Yeah.
I was just mad at the Lions. I don't know if we were going on 16 then or whatever, but I'm just a frustrated fan. I think they take our love for granted. But anyway, I became a Cleveland Browns fan that day as my second team because I couldn't just jump on the bandwagon. So it's fun watching them do it, what they did this year.
He's C. Webb, and he was on the call with the Bucks and Nets last night. What are the Nets doing so far without Kyrie, with James and KD that surprised you?
It nothing surprised me with this team, Dan. I think 50 things can be true at one time. Harden left unceremoniously. He gained weight. He did all those things, but he's still one of the best players. And I still believe D'Antoni is responsible for how Harden played there. D'Antoni told me personally that he believed that, remember how you would throw the ball in the Shaq would wait and throw it back out, and maybe that play took 15 seconds? He believed that Harden was doing that from the top of the key as a post-up player, and that, okay, Dan, if you're ready to shoot, okay, we'll throw it back. Now I'm going to dribble and find one of you. That's what he believed was his post play. I don't believe Harden. I believe he liked playing like that, but he can play so much more efficiently. And by those guys being friends, I put a lot of it on mentality. But by those guys being friends, I expect them to share the ball. And I believe Harden knows that Durant is the best player in the NBA. And, he defers at times. So,
do you think Durant's the best player in the NBA?
I think he's the best. He'd have to be top two. I know that offensively that it's no one in the game like him, that maybe that we've ever seen. And I think his teammates know that. I think that Durant learned how to play a different style, playing for Coach Kerr and with those players. I think he learned to trust players playing at Golden State, meaning like if you're in the right place, just make the right play, because he just plays so much more calm and effortlessly, and so he lets the game come to him. So, and Nash is their coach. I said this last night. Dan, you may remember this, so I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in my opinion, and I believe this with all my heart, Nash dribbled the ball more than Harden. It was just the way that he did it. It was just he dribbled in a circle all the way around up under the basket, but he would just make great plays.
But
so
he shot less, though, Chris.
Yeah, he did. But I'm not talking about shooting. I'm talking about ball handling. And so I think that having a guy like Nash, because we used to want Nash to shoot more so that other guys wouldn't get involved. So Nash is brilliant. I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that the game has changed, and Nash is part of the reason why Harden is successful. And by the way, D'Antoni is on that bench that coached Nash that way, and then vice versa. And so I believe that, if this is their style of play, I believe Nash is a great guy to talk to Harden about how to do it.
Well, I think with Harden, we look at it as he just pounds the ball and then he's going to take his shot. Nash would dribble, and you're right. He was almost like Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky used to go behind the net, and then he would try to set up his teammates. Nash was a pass first, and James is a shoot first, shoot second, pass third. And I think people look at it and they don't like sort of he's a ball hog. I don't think people looked at Nash as a ball hog as much as they do James. But I still say, why is it that Harden can get 11 assists, but Kyrie can't? Like, Kyrie's not a great passer, Chris.
When I played with Allen Iverson, a lot of people used to say that he was selfish. And he definitely is looking for his shot. That's the way Allen was made and programmed to be. Kyrie is so skilled at scoring and getting to where he wants. And his size, I think, when you trap, prohibits. Now, should he be a better passer? Should he get more assists? Yes, I agree with you. And I go back to Nash. It's not about, I don't want in any way want to make Nash seem selfish. He's one of the most selfless players ever. But when you have two guys on the side of you, you have to trust them. And I've seen Harden do that when he led their team in assists, when he was the third guy coming off with he and Westbrook. So I trust their relationship. And when you play with greats, you feel like, okay, I can get mine. What is the question? I do think it's Kyrie, and can he get others involved? But if you have Harden at the point guard, why can't Kyrie be the two offensively? Meaning, because I agree, Dan, he should get more assists. So I agree with you. But if he's not going to, why wouldn't you let them get that same amount and just do it from a two position and score and then keep the ball in Harden's hands?
Yeah, he's this enigma. He's a fascinating guy. And you were on the set with Uncle Drew, so you spent time with him. Like, even though you spent time with him, do you understand? Do you know Kyrie Irving or feel like you do?
No, I don't know Kyrie. No, I don't know. I don't know him at all. I know his father a little bit through friends of mine like Rod Strickland and others. I know his father was a heck of a hooper and a great man. But I don't. And I think because I'm in the movie, people think that I can give insight. I don't. This is a different generation. This is a different day. And so my thing is, as a commentator, to hold him accountable and then to balance it with the things I don't know. And so that's why, so in my day, I can only say this, Dan, in my day, if I would have played in Washington, I wanted to play with Spreewell. I wanted them to trade him for Calvert Chaney straight up. What's up, Calvert? I love you. But I played Spree, and at that time, I knew the Spree was intent on being Jordan defensively. I mean, this guy was incredible. He was a friend, but he was incredible. And I remember going, I want to play with him. And I know that if I would have played with him, I would have played better. Whether I had more shots or less shots, I know that, whatever the situation, and no disrespect to Calvert, I just meant because of our relationship. I think friends hold each other to a higher standard depending on what type of friends you have. I think Durant does that as the alpha male in this situation. And I believe that they had to talk to each other about it. And so if you, as friends, get in the room and you talk about it, make a commitment, say we're going to win, make a toast, have a drunk talk, oh, buddy, we're going to do it. You got to stick to it. And no coaching can make you sacrifice, no friends, no family. It's the commitment you made to each other. And that's the only thing that I rely on. That's why I think KG worked when he got to Boston. That's why I think Rasheed worked when he got to Detroit. And many people didn't think it would, but they didn't know the personal relationships. And so, Dan, that's all I can put it on because I don't know Kyrie at all.
Would you want to play with Kyrie?
Would I want to play? If I could play today and be healthy and go back in time and play today with who I was, I would want to play with him because I was a pick and roll player. And as long as you give me the ball off the pick and roll, I could do, whatever I need to do.
He might not give you the ball off the pick and roll.
Well, we'd have to find that out. But very, very honest, if I could play today, or if I could play in my lifetime, the three guys I would have wanted to play with are probably Magic, Nash, and LeBron. Because I was a big guy and those guys find you.
No Jordan.
I would have loved, of course I would have loved to play with Jordan. I just meant, you're going to touch the ball a lot. With Jordan, I would have just been rebounding.
You would have been Horace Grant.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, Horace got some rings, so yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, you might have been Will Perdue. I don't know. But, I was watching the Lakers last night. They're up 14 in the fourth quarter. Now, I know it's a game in January here, Chris. How do you blow a 14-point lead against Golden State at home?
Because Golden State has a chip on their shoulder. I think from Kerr enjoying coaching probably more than ever to Curry coming back. I mean, you see the shots that Curry wants. Guys, what I really love, the guys are really humble off the court, but their alter egos are on the court. And Curry is a little jerk on the court. He's the like 6th, 7th grade, and we used to play tag in all the games. The little fellas always won because you couldn't catch him and you were just mad. And that's Curry. He's shooting threes. He's getting other guys going. Draymond, I mean, it's a time for them to really show who they are in the midst of this. And so it didn't surprise me. It really didn't surprise me that Golden State did that. It would surprise me if other teams, but when you have Curry and those boys, man, you better bring your hard hat every night.
But could Curry act this way back when you played?
No. No. I just remember, Karl Malone, I think 22 stitches to Isaiah. I just remember, Oakley, other guys. It was just a different day. I mean, I had to change the way I acted after, 2 or 3 seasons because it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Cummings has nothing to lose. There's 2 years left in his career and he's on the bench. Why try the 3 seasons down the line? Why?
Wait, who do you still owe something to?
As far as what do you mean?
They did something to you, but you didn't want to lose game checks and get back at them. Do you have a grudge towards anybody?
No, I would say though that Terry Cummings is the one loss that I took. I wanted to fight Xavier McDaniel. I wanted to, back then it was WWF. You coming into the league, and so no. But Terry Cummings, I would say, is the one guy.
But he's a minister, Chris.
Yeah, exactly. So how about this? Your grandfather. You ever see your grandfather get mad and give you that look, and he doesn't say anything?
Yeah.
And you get more scared. That he's a minister, and it's like, oh my God, he made a commitment to God. Whatever he beat my ass right now. So that was my rookie year. He pulled me out the air gently, but he grabbed me and he wouldn't let me go. And he said, "No, don't do that anymore." And Billy and those guys, they didn't come up and talk. They looked at him like, no, he's the crazy one. That's what I learned. Never fight a guy that cries before the fight. And then guys that are real calm like him, just leave him alone.
Wait, the guys who cry before the fight?
Oh, damn. Never fight a guy that starts crying before a fight.
Wait, who started crying before a fight?
I've seen it before. I bet some people out there have seen it before. Call in, let Dan know. Like, didn't Lennox Lewis lose to a guy? Was that McCall crying before a fight? It was a professional fight.
Oliver McCall?
Yeah, he started crying. But yeah, I've seen bullies get knocked out, maybe 2 in my lifetime, when the guy getting bullied just started crying. That's when you just know he has nothing to lose. You don't want to fight a guy with nothing to lose.
But like Charles Oakley wouldn't start crying before he would pummel somebody.
No, he might just start smacking himself for hitting the head.
Terry Cummings is a minister. That's what I find amazing, that he's supposed to be a God-fearing, peaceful man, Chris.
Yeah, I would tell his congregation to check his
You better behave. You better donate money. Put it in the collection plate there. Hey, great to catch up as always. We appreciate you. Your stories and Chris will be on the Bucks-Lakers call Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern on TNT. C. Webb, always great to catch up. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, brother.